What about in Acts 2:31 when it's saying that Jesus' soul was not left in hell in a King James Bible? Some would argue that Jesus was not in hell or suffering or anything like that.
I suspect their grave would be the better term. So it depends on the context. Everything depends on context.
What about another stylistic question? In the book of Psalms, like chapters 9, and there's definitely other places where a King James Bible may use the word hell. In other versions, it may use the word Sheol.
Sheol is the Hebrew word. Sometimes Abaddon, sometimes the pit. But there it's probably Sheol in Hebrew. Hell was a kind of a blanket cover-all word for that reality, for which Hebrew had several different expressions. So in a sense, hell is placing all of our New Testament Christian concept on that one term where it has many different concepts in the Old Testament.
It's even funny when I talked to Dr. Allman, we were talking about different versions of the Bible, and I said, I was trying to bring up variances between the texts, and I said, well, I'm not an expert on the Holman Christian Standard Bible. And he says, I'm not either. What about a particular passage, and this is kind of more of a stylistic question, but in Matthew 25, verse 23, this is a verse that I think a lot of people probably have memorized, but it says, well done, good and faithful servant. But what's interesting, and I'm not an expert with the Holman Christian Standard Bible.
Yeah, I'm not either.
And I just laughed. So like, this guy is a literal translator for the Holman Christian Standard Bible, and he said that he's not even expert on the own translation that he has. I don't believe he even reads it. And the reason why I say that is because when we talked about the portion that he translated, he said he had translated like a portion of the Psalms. He basically said that he hasn't even read his own translation. He was afraid of what the editing committees had done unto his translation, so he didn't even read it. So the translator for the Holman Christian Standard Bible, who's writing, portions of this text, gives it to their editors, afraid of them basically changing and corrupting what he had given them, and so he didn't even want to read it. I believe that it actually says, well done, good and faithful slave.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the difference between those two from a stylistic perspective?
The Greek word doulos really does mean slave. And so servant is the way we've cleaned it up in English to make it palatable.